Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and today we are going to be talking about the 2014 April Friendly. Pretty much most of what you need to know, what you need to understand, and what to expect. I haven't actually really done a guide or review for these friendly battles, but I feel that it's a really awesome thing what they're doing with this one, and that if anyone's ever wanted to enter a ranked online battle system, that you might need a guide because there's a couple things that you just need to understand. So, first off, it says right here, registration period. Also, I hope you can read this okay. If you can't, due to resolution or because it's gray on white, which is kind of hard to read. Link in the description to this below to fill in anything I do not mention that you are still curious about. So if you look here, you must first register in the Pokemon Global link right there. So there's a button that says visit the PGL. You sign in with your account, you link your game with GameSync if you already haven't, and then you go and register on April 17th. Now, a lot of people might be confused about the 000 time. When we're talking about the, I forget what it's called, but the base time, for the United States, that is 7 p.m. Eastern time. So you go from your time zone from there, Central, Mountain, and then West. And you can figure out what time. So 7 p.m. if you're Eastern, you can sign up on April 16th, because technically it goes into the next day when you cross the time zone. I'm fairly sure. So you get to sign up, I believe, April 16th at 7 p.m. going off of this. If not, then it's the other way around. I'm sorry. So there is a cap, though. 50,000 participant limit. I would say that probably won't fill up in the first day. So as long as you register in the first day, you should be fine. The earlier, the better. If you really want to get in, try to get in as soon as possible. On top of that, from April 25th to the 28th, you will be able to battle to your heart's content to try to rank up really high. Now, I'm actually happy with the way they do this, because something will be explained later. Because they used to have it to where, you could infinitely battle and you could infinitely kind of disconnect and change up all of your ratings and stuff, but they're going to have a cap to the amount of battles you can do in a day. I believe it's 30. Yeah, I believe it's 30. We'll check that later because it is in this little guide thing. And if you DC, it counts as a loss. And if you DC too many times, you are disqualified from the entire tournament. So let's talk about the rules, because this is where it gets fun and interesting, and this is why I feel it needs clarification. Single battle format. So Pokemon is doing an official online rating tournament for singles. On top of that, all Kalos Pokemon are allowed. So if it is in the Kalos Pokedex, it is allowed. That still means it's essentially VGC rules. You don't get to use the National Pokedex Pokemon. Safari Pokemon, some Safari Zone Pokemon are excluded. Our friend Safari Pokemon are excluded. As long as it's in the Kalos Dex, you can use it, and this includes Legendaries. This just got a little less friendly, I think. So if you're looking at it like that, that means Xerneas, Yveltal, Mewtwo X, Mewtwo Y, and Zygarde are usable. That's why I've been doing strategies for them for the last couple days, so you know what to expect. Nicknames will not be displayed. There's a 30-minute time limit and 90 seconds to select the 3 Pokemon, and then there's a battle timer. Essentially, just basic things. If you do not make a selection, the game will automatically make selections for you. Oh, here we go. Players may battle up to 20 games per day of the competition. That's where it is. I don't know if it's in view, but right there, 20 games per day. Now, this is actually what makes it really nice, because essentially you can only go X out of 60. It's only open for 3 days. You can get 20 games a day, which means I would recommend you battle all 20 games. If you have enough time to sit down and do that, good for you. And if you can win a large amount, you might be ranked very well. So that's actually one of the big points, because in previous tournaments, they haven't had a cap. I believe they started doing it with 6th Gen, but back in 4th and 5th generation, if someone battled 100 games and they lost more than a lot of people they lost more games than people would even battle, they could still get high rankings by manipulating the system. So Pokemon's taking control right there. And Pokemon automatically become level 50. So now we're just talking about standard VGC, no illegal Pokemon, no hacked Pokemon. Kalos native means that you cannot use the Poke Transporter. They have to be hatched in-game. They have to be legit. They can only have, moves from leveling up, TM, egg move through breeding from a character in the game, or an official Pokemon event. Now here's another thing. Since it's an official event, it's not going to be like you hop on into the Pokemon Oh, I just forgot what it's called. It's not like you go to the battle spot and then you can choose your party or you can choose your battle box. You have to register the Pokemon that are in your battle box. So when you register online for the Pokemon Global Link, or through the Pokemon Global Link, make sure your battle box is set. Make sure your Pokemon have the right items, the right moves, right everything. Make sure it's the right Pokemon, because they will lock your battle box, and those are the Pokemon you're using for when you are dealing with that. And that each Pokemon can hold items, no duplicate items. They have to be legitimately acquired, and yeah, acquired in Pokemon X and Y through the Global Link or an official Pokemon or event promotion. Pretty simple stuff right there. And then after that, it's time limits and things like that. So you do need a trainer club membership, you do need wireless connection, you need to have your game sync registered. Simple stuff. And then there's the steps to register. I'm not going to go over those because I think you could read it for yourself, but it's kind of like you go online, set up your battle box, you get a digital player ID, and then you battle. Ranking details. You have to at least compete in one match to be ranked, which makes sense. And here's what I find interesting. You may be penalized or disqualified from all future competitions for the following behaviors. If you, let's see, where is it? Not being considerate to opponent. Do not harass, insult, slander other players on internet message boards, blogs, or anywhere else. Show your excellent sportsmanship. So that does mean if you do beat someone and you do call them out for it, and they have a chance to report you to Pokemon and disqualify you from that event and future events, which is very interesting. I just think that I've actually talked to a Pokemon representative about this. While they don't normally do it, they have done it in the past, and there are circumstances if you're harassing someone, if you're making a YouTube video about them specifically, and you participate in events, you can be disqualified. So I found that was very interesting to see. Now we get to the fun part. So we've been over the rules, we've been over the basic things. Let's talk about what to expect. This is going to be single battle, and this is going to be legendaries included. So what to expect is you're going to see a lot of Xerneas, and you're going to see a lot of Mega Mewtwo, which means that slow strategies might not be your best case. I'd recommend you need to have one Pokemon with Focus Sash that can handle a Pokemon like Xerneas, that can handle a Pokemon like Mewtwo. Something that hits incredibly hard, that can handle a lot of good coverage and be able to turn around a good hit. So that I'm just saying things like that. Or you can also bring legendaries yourself. Try to run a Mewtwo that counters other Mewtwo's. Try to run a Xerneas or a Zygarde or Yveltal that counters other Pokemon like that. Try to think outside the box. I would say try to not bring too many strategies that take a long time to set up, or strategies that set up fast. Bring those. The problem is, with a Snorlax strategy, with the Drifblim strategy, I think they can work, but a lot of the things are working against them. Mega Mewtwo uses Shadow Ball. You have a slim chance of surviving and setting up at the same time. If you're trying to set up with Snorlax, there's a lot of things that can keep you down. Xerneas runs Focus Blast. Geomancy into Focus Blast, you're going to have a hard time. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of things out there. Things I do recommend, Pokemon that are strong against that. You're expecting a lot of types. There's going to be Fairy types, there's going to be Dark types, there's going to be Psychic types, because you're going to see a lot of play from those Pokemon. Klefki. Klefki can work very well if you're using it as my setup Klefki. Use Calm Mind. Before Xerneas gets a chance to attack you, you have +2 in your special defense. So now it's +2 in special attack. Isn't going to hit as hard, and it doesn't have incredible amounts of coverage to be able to handle you. I would recommend that. Mewtwo does have a hard time against Klefki as well. I've stopped out quite a few. So you either need to set up fast, like with Prankster, you need to set up in one turn, such as a Barbaracle. I feel Barbaracle can get a lot of awesome play, Focus Sash into Shell Smash. Slurpuff, the Belly Drum set is going to work well. Azumarill, the Belly Drum set, could work well. You just need to be fast, and you need to hit harder than your opponent, as in every Pokemon game. So that's my advice. If you're going to try to bring something that sets up hard, don't try to bring standard sweep, because I feel like this tournament, the way it's set up, it's going to be battle of the sweeps. Who can pull out the broom faster and who can sweep harder. Other than that, it's up to you. If you're playing I would say use the singles non-ranked. Like if you're on the battle spot right now and you're playing singles non-ranked, you're seeing essentially what you're going to be seeing right now. While there are a couple, maybe not right now, but back before Poke Transporter was out, you're going to see a lot of Legendaries on your opponent's team. You're going to see a lot of Mega Kangaskhans, a lot of Mega Pokemon. So if you can remember that time, it's essentially that all over again. And even if you're using a Kalos native team in the singles battle spot and you're winning with it, that's really awesome because that means you're beating out other Pokemon like Landorus and Pokemon that are available through Poke Transporter, which means you're going to be ready for more things than you're actually going to encounter. Try to put yourself in the bad position to train is what I can say from that, you're not going to see Latios in this tournament, but if your team can handle Latios, if your team can handle a lot of the Poke Transporter Pokemon and Kalos native Pokemon, you're going to be really good for that. Setups, I don't see a lot of people using Stealth Rock, Spikes, so you can either choose to use that or you could choose to not use that, but I feel that Focus Sash is a pretty safe open because can't really get stopped. Weather isn't too big in singles now, just so you know. Not a lot of people are going to open up for Hail, Sandstorm, anything like that. If you want to dedicate something to a team, try to do Tailwind. If you want speed control, try to have Klefki just get paralysis down on many Pokemon. Swagger, Foul Play, Thunder Wave, Klefki works as well. That's about all I can say, Don't copy exactly what I've said. I'm just saying what I think works. Don't hold me to it, but it's what you can expect. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's my 2 cents on April Friendly, so you know about it and you know what to expect. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have a nice day.